Hey everyone, welcome to the morning after Gundam Extreme vs. Full Boost being released. Just this morning, someone on Twitter was very kind enough to provide us a full menu translation already of the game, just mere hours after the game came out. So I'll just be providing a walkthrough of the game's menus along with that translation, and just visual, indication of where everything is. So the Twitter handle that translated this game is, let me see if I can find it. It is at ADNQT. Once again, that is at ADNQT. So give him a follow, go message him and say thank you for translating the game's menus. Very kind. So the game's main menu is just fairly self-explanatory for the most part. Everything on the surface is in English, so you know a general idea of where you're going. Under arcade, you have single player, a local split-screen multiplayer, and online co-op multiplayer. That's an exclusive new feature for Full Boost, and please give it a try whenever you get the game. So, in single player, fairly standard stuff. You go into character select menu after choosing it. You choose a suit, you choose the type of burst they have. And then you have arcade course and boss rush. Self-explanatory stuff in which you select arcade course, you choose which course you want to run through for the game based on difficulty. You also have boss rush, is when you just choose it, it puts you through a boss rush. Don't think anything else has to be said for that. Backing out here, the next one is split screen multiplayer, so if you have another friend you want to play with, this is for you. So I can't really access it right now because I don't have another controller here, but you would if you had another controller hooked up. I don't right now. Online co-op multiplayer was added to Full Boost, so you can play with one other person. It takes a bit of time to load up the online menus for some of these modes. So just sip some tea, drink some coffee, make yourself a sandwich as this loads up. There we go. Like so. So the menus here is create room, room list, and check invites. So before we get into any of these menus, I want to let you in on some interface stuff. Yeah, before going into a room, select your suit beforehand because it won't give you a chance to go to some character select screen like offline arcade mode did. So as you see down there, mobile suit information at the bottom left corner, press triangle, and then you'll be greeted with a list of the suits of what you want to try. So if I want to play Zeta Gundam, for example, using Blast Burst, I choose that, and then there you go. You see the mobile suit information has updated with that information. Another thing to note is the player information at the right hand side, which is basically your player card. And basically how it is, it lists your PSN ID, and then the other, the SP, TP, and CP is all ranked information stuff. So that's really, it really doesn't concern this mode, but for ranked information, SP would just be your single player progress points. And not single player as in offline, but I mean like, it's something that doesn't affect your team points or character points. It's just basically your personal progress. Team points is basically the highest amount of points you have with a certain individual. I think it lists their network ID if you, if I played with someone and say I had like 181 team points, and I had another person I played with that we only had like 64 team points with, it would list the person I had 181 team points there. I think it would list their handle. That's how it worked in vanilla anyway. So that's kind of just guesswork on my part. character points is obviously the character you're best with and how many points you have with them. And then the two messages on the bottom there are really interesting. To alter them, you press square. So these messages are mapped to the communication button, whatever you set that to. Like I have my comm communication button at R2. So normally pressing the comm button just with no direction has two uses. One is at the very beginning of the match, just it's standard to compliment your partner before working with them. Like you press R2 as you guys are deploying, it'll pop up with a message saying "Yoroshiku onegai shimasu," so saying nice to work with you. And then another use for this in the mid-battle, if you press the comm button without a direction, it'll just ping your health to them, saying like I'm okay or I'm low on health. It'll just automatically do that for you, so the partner knows how much health you have left, roughly around how much health you have left. So, and then now for if you were to press direction with the comm message, it would say one of these. So like if I pressed up and comm message say godlike instead of like, because I edited that out. And then to go to the blue messages with R1, there's a new addition to the game in which could go potentially either way, and it has a lot of potential. So this, what basically this is after a match is over, you can compliment players by sending them a message. So if I were to, I don't know if this only applies to winning. I don't know if it could apply to losing too. I'm not sure exactly. But say if I won, as it's like going into like the winning screen, you can actually like send them a message. So if I were to say like up and then like up plus comm button as I was winning, it would actually say this message instead of like it, and the opponents could see it, like say they could see your message. It's kind of like a winning quote, for example, a customizable one. I think it's pretty nice. I'm kind of looking forward to see what you guys come up with as well. So that basically covers the two types of messages on your player card. Once again, the player card is more for competitive matches in ranked and player 2 versus 2 instead of arcade. I don't know why they decided to show it in the arcade online co-op, but whatever. So, back to this. When creating a room, you have the first option is courses, which course you want. One thing to note here is when you choose a course in online co-op, you commit to it. You can't. It's not like an offline arcade mode in which you can switch it, in the sense that like once you complete a stage in the A path, you can't. In offline, you can switch to B or C, etc. Like you switch to B, and then after beating that B stage, you can switch to C, etc. In online co-op, you have to commit to one. So if you choose A, you're only gonna stay at that A course. There's no straying off of it. The next one is player. How many players you want in the room? I don't know why they included one here, because with one, it's just basically your standard arcade mode. Like if I were to press this, it would just bring me straight to arcade mode alone. No questions asked. I think it's just, I don't know. So what you really want out of this menu is 2. And then the next one is just a message description for your room. So when someone joins, you see the message description. You can set it to whatever you want, basically. So, and then this is to start it, and then the left option is to start it, the right option is to invite someone. So you click this one and then go send an invite to someone to play with you. That basically explains that. The next one, as I mentioned earlier, just it'll list lobbies out of whatever public lobbies are up. Nothing's really up right now. And then the last one is just checking your invites to see if to go accept any invites that you got for this mode. The next one is free battle. Free battle menu is essentially the same as it was in vanilla. The first option is if you want either put these into random teams, Team A, Team B, or leave it spot vacant. Just lock out the spot, so if you want like a 1 versus 1 battle, that'll be possible just by locking out slots. The next one is whether you want it to be a first player, second player, I don't have another controller, but yeah, or computer, so you can have an all-computer match if you really want. You can set, if you have it on CPU, you can set the difficulty of them from stop to extreme. So how training mode would work in this game is you put the training dummy on stop or the CPU on stop, and they'll do nothing while you test out combos on them. Next one is just picking your suit. So pick a suit, pick a burst, and then what's really peculiar is also you can pick whether you want them to be their full cost or just be worth half their cost when they die. So as you see there, if I put it to 50, it'll turn that suit into 1000, and when they die, it only costs 1000. So moving on, after you get everything set up, you can select stage, you can select the background music, you can select the timer, whether you want an infinite time or not. This is the damage values. I'd say just leave this normally, but if you want everything to hit really hard, you can set it super high if you really wanted to. I'd say just leave it on 2. These next ones, there's the boost gauge value. So basically what this is how fast you want boost to be consumed. If you put it to 50, a boost will be down. Boost consumption will be super high because you're only really working with 50% of your normal boost gauge amount. If you want twice the boost amount, you'd put it to 200%, so you can boost a lot more. I'd say just leave it at 100 if you're really training on it, training movement, for example. There's no infinite boost gauge option here. The next two ones are related to the extreme gauge meter. The first one is the meter time, I believe. So meter time is basically how long you want the meter to be consumed. If you want it to be consumed super fast, you put it to 50, because that means that like the meter will act as if like you only have half the amount you always have. So for example, if you activate it at like 100% meter, it'll consume it as if you activated as 50%, because you only put it as 50% of your boost gauge consumption. So it's a little bit tricky to explain, but you kind of get it. So for example, if you put it to 200%, it'll consume it much slower because it assumes you have twice as much boost, not boost, extreme meter as you normally do. The next one is extreme. What was this one? Oh yeah, the building up. So if you want no extreme EX meter build up, you'd put it to 0, and your EX meter will always stay at 0. No way to build up. If you want it to fill up not as fast, like about half as fast, you put it to 50. If you want it to fill up twice as fast, put it to 200. These last options are just the A and B teams cost gauge amount. You can put it anywhere from 1000 to infinite. Like ideally you'd set it to infinite if you were training, so you don't have to go back and forth into menus. You can just kill the person without them wasting the cost gauge for training. Fairly basic stuff, like self-explanatory. So backing out of free battle, go into ranked match. Go. So, ranked match. Once again, you're greeted with your player card and the suit. You don't have to pick. Okay. Yeah, you do. There's ranked. My bad. Yeah, for ranked match, once again, make sure to pick your suit beforehand. Before you try to search for a room or invite someone, because once again, you're not greeted by a character select screen. You have to pick your suit beforehand. So for the menus here, you have Team Shuffle and Team Hold. If you pick Team Shuffle, it'll look for people in ranked mode through matchmaking who are also looking for a ranked shuffle match. The other one is Team Hold, which will have more options. So you pick Team Hold, and in Team Hold you have invite mode, partner cost, and check invitations. So for the first one, of course, is you try to find a friend, invite a friend to a rank. That'll be your first option. The second option is if you have no one to invite, you can search for a specific cost of a person. So if you pick like cost 1000, it'll pick all the player in matchmaking who have a 1000 suit on them that are also looking for people. So if you're looking for like a specific team composition and cost value, this would be the place to go for public matchmaking in rank. And then check invitations, fairly self-explanatory. So backing out of ranked into player match. Player match. Here we go. It's gonna be a lot. Get psyched. I'll also be going through the online lobby menus as well. Whenever this loads up anyway. There we go. So, here we have quick match, create match. Oh no. Let's cross that out. Quick match, custom match, create match, and then friends rooms and check invites. Okay? So for the first one, if you want a quick match, just you have Team Shuffle and Team Hold here. It'll just like go through rooms, basically quick match and find a room, and then it'll find one and it'll say, do you want to join this room? And you're like, sure. There you go. Quick match. Custom match is, of course, setting parameters for what you want to see. Like if you only want to see rooms that have our Team Shuffle or Team Hold, set that. This is how many players you're looking for in a match. This is don't care, and then but you can set a number to it if you really want. I'd say just set it to this. This is this last option is basically like a handicap compensation option. I guess it's the best way to put it. So basically, this option is also in Vanilla Extreme Versus, in which a person who has like a winning streak and they're doing really well, once they pass a certain threshold, they'll be paired with someone who's less experienced and doesn't have a winning streak, for example. So the kind of like the person is kind of dealt like a less experienced partner than them, to put it lightly. That's what handicap compensation is. I don't care either way, whether it's on or not. I'd personally decided to don't care, but here's yes, here's no. So whatever. Create match is probably the big thing that you guys want to know. So create match menu is, the first one is room name. You can set a custom room name or a preset one. So you can, using the first option, you can just set a custom room name, so GG. Great name. You can either set it to Team Shuffle or Team Hold. You can set how many players you want in there. In Wool Boost, the amount of people in a room now is set to 12, up to 12 now. There's private slots. So since I'm gonna show you guys the online room lobby thing, I'll just set all the private slots on. Once again, there's handicap compensation, yes or no. This is a limiter, a filter of the room, like a rank filter essentially, and like you don't want people past a certain rank to join your room. So say you don't want people of like silver rank to join your room, like you'd only set it so beginner to bronze can join. So that means people of silver or gold rank cannot join your room. Yeah. You can also set like there's a maximum threshold, there's minimum threshold. I can't set this any higher because I'm still in that rank, so I can't scroll. So obviously you can't set the minimum threshold to higher than what your rank is. Or you can just say don't care. It's fine. That is fair. And this last option, I don't think I can use it yet, but it's apparently a win percentage limit option. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but that is an option. I think that's like for ranked people, I want to say. I'm not sure exactly. I don't know, it's really weird. So, to create a room, press start. So, witness the new lobby interface system. Looks really sleek, very nice. As you can see, my room name is up there, GG. So, there's a lot to do. You can a lot to do for your room. The first thing that I want to let people know about the online rooms is, whether you're a host or just a participant in a room, is there's no character select menu option. Like when you press circle, you're gonna go straight to a match. You have to set your character beforehand. So the first thing you do whenever you enter a lobby from now on, for the rest of your life in this game, is to press triangle first, and then you select which character you want. So say I want to use Victory, and I want to use it with Assault Burst, I have to set that first. Because if I just press circle, I'd only be using Stargazer because that's what it defaults mine to. If you don't have any reserved slots, like favorable units in that slot, like how I showed you earlier. Actually, I didn't show you yet. Yeah, I'll show you in a sec. But if you don't have any like of your 3 character slots filled, it'll default to F91. But if you have if you set like 3 units as your favored units, it'll default to the first one. So mine was Stargazer. But normally, if you don't have any favored units set, it'll default to F91, I believe. So, long story short, press triangle first when you enter a lobby. It'll save your life and your partner's life. So, as a host, if you're a host of a room, you can press square, and you're greeted by a room menu. So, the first option is basically just showing you stats of a person and the room. So, this would be looking at your stats. The other one is gives you a list of people inside the room, and you can scroll through them and their player cards as well. The second option is setting your comm settings while you're waiting for a match, for example. So you can set that inside the room. The third option brings you to another menu. It is more logistics type info for the room. So the first one would be setting a stage for everyone in the room. So if you want everyone to play a certain stage, always, you set it to that. Set the stage for that room. Second option in that. So the second option is basically making a public announcement to the room, so you don't have to deal with it. Let's say the host is leaving in 5 matches. You can say leaving in 5 matches, 5 matches left. So as you see, what happened there is in the upper right hand corner is now everyone in that room can see that there are 5 matches left for the host at least. So the host just have to go out of his way to, like, you know, close the room down randomly, and people won't know what's going on. Like, they can at least know beforehand, like, hey, look, the host is leaving soon. So going back to that third option menu. The third one is probably the most important one for you guys, because this is... No. I'm kidding. That's the fourth one. The third one, the third option, is basically filtering connections. So basically, if you don't want people with 1 bar joining your room, set it to this. If you don't want people with 1 or 2 bars joining your room, set it to this. If you don't want people with 1, 2, or 3 bars joining your room, you'll set it to this. There's basically a minimum threshold. I don't know what the other options do. This is the most important one. Oh, there's... Okay. The third option, as I'm just learning right now, is just you only want people in the room to, like, pick a certain cost. Like, it's basically filtering out, like, hey guys, you can only pick 1,000 or 2,000, etc. I don't know what the other ones do. I wouldn't mess with them until I get more solid confirmation. If you know in the comments, let me know what number 2 and number 4 does for this option menu. Okay, this is the most important one for you, probably most of you. Fourth one is inviting people to your room. Let me go backtrack on how you do that once more. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, to invite people in your room, you press square, you pick the third option, you pick the fourth option. There we go. And of course the last option in the menu is closing out that menu. Finally, in player matches, this is friends lobbies, so if a friend is inside a lobby or has a lobby up, you can go join them. I don't think anyone's on right now. Oh, okay, some people are on. So, finding people, finding your friends is going to be super easy, because you can just quick join them for the friends lobbies option. Really handy. Of course, the last option, once again, is check invite. Now, for the full boost mission menu, there's single player, there's online co-op. So once you get to the mission mode, very self-explanatory. Remember, once again, that you have to pick your suit beforehand with triangle on what you want. So if I wanted C or high new, say high new, I wanted a blast. You pick that beforehand. And then you just pick a mission. If you want to fast scroll to it, you hold down square and then up or down, just fast scrolling through it. That's about it. If you want to upgrade like your mech, I don't know exactly what these skills do yet, but you can see, yeah, off to the side. So let's say I think I have like 120 skill points with Luna Marina. Yeah. So I press triangle, and like if I wanted to level up one of the skills she knows, you know, costs a certain amount of skill points, of course. This is exclusive to the unit, so even if I level this one up, that won't apply for everyone, only apply for Luna's Gunner Zaku. I'm also remembering there's one more option in the player matches menu that I forgot to mention. So we're gonna go back there real fast before the online co-op. Oh wait, you know what? I just pressed circle. Never mind. I'll get to it after it. When it decides to load. Okay, so Online co-op in mission mode is essentially the same thing in arcade mode. So, of course, you set your unit first to triangle, whatever you want it to. And you see that they have all their upgrades if you upgraded them. Like if I were to upgrade the Gunner Zaku, it would be transferred into here as well. You can do upgrades there as well. So, for the online, once again, create room, room list, and check invites. So, create room. Very similar to what the arcade co-op, online co-op menu was. You select mission. You select whether you want to play it solo or with someone else. And then you select message description. And then this is start, and then this to invite them first. So pick this first. There's the room list. It'll show you all the lobbies available that you can join. There's checking invites. Fairly straightforward. Now for player matches, I forgot to show you one more thing that I mentioned earlier and then I just totally forgot. Come on. Okay, so in this menu of player matches, press triangle, and then there's where you can set your reserved units, like the 3 units you want it to default to, so you don't have to go find them. So you see mine are already set, but you can always set them in another suit. Like, so if you have 3 suits that you don't want to keep on fighting every time, and they're like kind of like your main suits, that your go-to suits, choose them here. I should probably like replace one of these, but whatever. So that's just a quick side note. Briefing room. Alright. Briefing room is kinda lengthy. It's not that bad, but it's a little bit lengthy. So for the first one is replay room, ranking, player data, gallery, and personal settings. So just like in the first game, you can view replays. In here, there's browse replays, download replays, and random replays. So if I want to find a specific replay, like there's the ones that I had last night. That these are your own personal replays. In here, you can fast scroll with holding down square. Select is locking them. So like after a certain amount of time, a certain amount of replays, it'll bump them down and then it'll eventually delete. You know, I don't know how many replays it'll save, but start, I believe, deletes them. Yeah, this looks like it. So if I were to, let's just test this out. Yes, it deletes it. So that's for browse replays. There's your own personal replays. Download replays is probably other people's replays. Yes, it is. So this is basically, wow, people are already ranking up really fast. Replays from other people that they've uploaded. I think it's automatic, I believe. I'm not too sure on that. But if you're looking for a specific suit, you just press left or right and it'll like find all the replays for that suit. So if I say I wanted Xiong, here we go. Or if you want to fast scroll through it, say I'm looking for like Epion replays, you know, I press select, you would press select and then you can choose that. Triangle sorts them by highest rank matches, I believe, yeah. So this most recent, this by highest rank. If you press triangle, that's the filter. Of course, circle will let you download them and then you can view them. And that's about it for downloading replays. For this one is, what is this? Random replay. Okay, so you just click this and it'll play a random replay. But I won't get into that right now. The second option here is ranking. Oh, I forgot to go explain that menu, my bad. So ranking here is ranked match ranking, arcade point ranking, and mission mode ranking, full boost mission mode ranking. Oh, I mean, I can't imagine a lot of people are gonna spend too much time with this. I mean, if you want to see rankings, go for it. They're all here. I'm not gonna go into it. The next one is player data. And then in player data, you have battle stats, arcade offline records, arcade online records, and license card. So I haven't actually seen this. Let's see what this looks like. Okay. These are just arcade stuff, and then what's this license card? Oh, that's neat. Alright. Next one is gallery. And in here, let's see, you have series intros, Gundam info, pilot info, player navi info, and figure collection. So, series intros, of course, is if you want to see, like, you know, intros for the, like the CGI intros for the suits. It's a nice thing to have. There's a lot of unlockables, it seems like. That could be really cool. Gundam info, of course, is just... Oh, okay, I think this is like all the suits that I've used. It'll only unlock these if you've used them. So, yeah. Pretty good stuff. Pilot info. Yeah, and they have vocal tracks for them too, like voice samples for them. This is Navi info, I believe? Yeah, player Navi info. So this doesn't mean I have all the Navis. This is just like, these are the available Navis that you can get, but I didn't buy any of them yet. But these are the available Navigators right now. This is figure collection. I don't think I have any figures. Yeah, you can get these in mission mode, I believe. I don't know anything about that. Personal settings. So this is, first one is item settings, which would be like your DLC, your background music settings, your favorite units, and communication. So what that means, item settings. Item settings will give you like a peek at like what DLC you have. As you can see, I don't have any of the DLC. To buy them, you have to go to catalog, but we'll go over that later. So, yeah, this is just giving you, I don't know, a sneak peek at them, I guess, of what you have. This is where you can customize your soundtracks through BGM. I don't have any music on my PS3, but it's fairly straightforward how you customize your soundtracks. You can also set a custom volume, I believe, for your sound, each song. So they're like all not. So there's like a song that's not too quiet and not too loud, like compared to the rest. So I think you can do custom volumes per song you add to it. Next one is favorite units. This is where you can set your favorite units too. It's just not a. If you don't want to do it through player match, you can do it through the briefing room here. And then communication, of course, same thing. Options. So in options you have arcade mode config, button settings, sound options, screen options, replay settings, and then battle messages. I believe that's how it works. Yeah. So arcade mode config. Difficulty, timer, damage values, and then same thing like in free battle, boost gauge consumption, EX meter time, EX meter consumption. Next, button settings. This is, well, how I have it set up right now is for my arcade stick. So if you have an arcade stick, it's already pre-set up for you. You just have to, this is what it'll default to for pad players. If you have an arcade stick, just move it over one and then you're good. That'd be, so you have square, well, on your arcade stick, of course, if you have a PS3 arcade stick, square for fire, triangle for melee or whatever the B move is. R1 is your boost, X is to switch target, R2 is your communication settings, and then everything else is off. For pad players I'm not too sure exactly. Oh no, what am I doing? Okay. For pad players, square is to shoot, triangle is your B move, so melee most of the time. X is boost gauge, circle is to switch targets. L1, I believe, these are all macros of A, B, and AC. I don't know which one's which at the moment. But it's fairly easy to figure out, and you can custom set it on your own if you want. L1, I believe, is your communication message for pad players defaulted. Yeah. So L1 is your communication message. The next one after button setup is sound options, so you can go set the volume options there. Screen options is basically kind of, if it's going beyond the border of your screen, you can set it up here. Network settings. Oh no, there's replay settings, my bad. Replay settings is basically turning on and off whether you want it to automatically save a replay every time a match is over. I think if you set it to off, it'll always ask you whether you want to save a replay of it or not. That's what I think it does that. This is network settings. Or is it? I don't know. Oh no, this to filter them out. So basically if you don't want to see people's custom messages at all, you can turn this on so you don't see it at all. So like if I were to turn this on, wait no, if someone, like my partner or anyone in the match, if my partner had this on, he wouldn't see my custom messages. You just see the custom Japanese default messages. So he wouldn't see like godlike or what was the other messages? I forgot all my other messages. Ute ute, he wouldn't see that. So that's, the first one is during battle. This one, and then this option is after battle. So if my opponents had this to on, they would not see like waifus please or ara ara, as when I send that message to them. So if they had this on, they wouldn't see my custom messages. And then this is just auto updating the game. Leave it on. And then the last option here is catalog. Catalog is where you buy all the DLC. So here are the Navis. These are the only ones released right now at launch. I'm not gonna get any of these because I don't like any of these girls. But if you do like any of them, feel free. They are, how much are they? They are 350 yen each. So. Oh no, I don't want it. Okay, I don't want to accidentally buy this. If you want to scroll through them, just go through R1 or L1. So there's like the second page. And then we're going to the gauge skins now. Each gauge skin, I believe, let me go check the price. 100 yen each. And you can, if you want to see like a bigger picture, you press triangle, and then you'll be supplemented with a bigger picture that shows off what the skin looks like. So, as you can see, there's a lot, and there's a lot more that's going to be added. The last section is just pilot uniforms. So if I wanted like an awesome uniform for like Char, or Atherin, or Luna Maria, or the Laura Rolla costume, these go for 300 yen each. So plan accordingly, budget accordingly. I think these are all the ones that are released, like they released just all of them at once. I don't know if there's going to be any more added. One thing to note also, since we're in the subject uniforms, is if you see these grayed out, is because they're also uniforms for your navigators. So you have to go buy, so if you want like say the felt spacesuit one, you'd have to buy the default one first, like the default navigator first, then buy the uniform, and that'll cost you extra. I think that's like another like 200-300 yen. Great stuff. Thank you, Bamco. So that pretty much wraps up my menu walkthrough of Gundam Extreme vs. Full Boost. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll fill you guys in on what will happen in the future. But as for now, that is the full menu translation for the game. Until then, thank you guys.